So, the Liver King. He's been lying to all of us. He's been lying on social media. Some of us knew it. You can tell by his physique that he was taking steroids when he was claiming he wasn't. He was claiming that he was eating raw liver and he was living off that his whole life. And, that's been a lie. So, there's a lot about the Liver King that's been a lie. He's come out with it. He's done an apology, and that apology has gone downhill. It's not very sincere. People are calling him out for it. And then he went on the Flagrant Show, a podcast. And on this podcast, he kind of opened up. He was a lot more vulnerable, and we saw a different side to him. If you haven't checked out that podcast, make sure you check that out below. I'm going to post it down below. But essentially, what can we learn about the Liver King and the journey he's been through? That's what I'm going to talk about in this video. What's going on, guys? So, if you haven't heard about Liver King, make sure you check out the episodes below. One is a podcast with Flagrant, who kind of talked to him. This was post his exposure and kind of tried to understand why he did what he did. It's funny, it's entertaining, and it also shows another side to Liver King. And then the other episode is where Liver King is exposed, his journey from being no one to being an influencer that kind of lies to people, and also how he was caught. So make sure you check out those episodes. They're down below in the subscription or description. And yeah, let me just get straight into the video. The three things that I've kind of learned from Liver King's journey, and what I think everyone else can learn, is one, authenticity. Authenticity is so important. When I say authenticity, is being yourself, being honest, showing those parts of you that you don't want to expose, weaknesses, but also strengths, and just owning yourself and being real. And this means when you're sad, exposing that side of yourself. When you're shy, when you're scared, exposing that side of yourself. Authenticity is king. It will help you become more confident within yourself and more secure within yourself. Especially when you start to realize that it's more easier to be authentic. And the reason why I think Liver King demonstrated this, and probably not in the right way, but in the bad way, is that he lied throughout the year. He put on a performance, essentially. He lied to everyone. And when he was caught, he apologized in a video that wasn't very sincere. And what this shows is when he wasn't authentic, he tried to put on a mask. He tried to be someone else. And that persona sold. He made a lot of money from it. But equally, it was hard work keeping up that personality. And the more he did it, the more he tried to keep on that personality, it crumbled within him. And this is where he was exposed. And all of a sudden, everything's U-turned. So many more people hating on him now. And yes, he's done good in some sense. But equally, what this kind of shows is the more you try and be fake, the more you try and be someone else, the more it's going to be harder to keep that mask on, and the more it's going to crumble, and eventually you're going to be exposed. And when you're exposed, you're going to feel insecure, you're going to feel belittled, you're going to feel like your life is collapsing around you. And this is why it's often easier and better to be authentic from the start, from the get-go. Because when you're authentic from the get-go, you're going to be more confident within yourself. It's going to allow you to access that inner confidence, and you're going to know what you want in life. You're going to start to realize there are boundaries that you need to set with people. You're going to start to realize that there's some people that won't like you in life. And that's okay. You're going to be comfortable knowing that there will be people out there who will reject you and not like you. And in my opinion, when you get to that stage, it's super, super amazing, because all of a sudden that people pleaser inside you no longer exists. You're just happy and confident within you are. You know who you are, and that's it. So, first lesson, authenticity. Second lesson is face your demons, face those insecurities, face those parts of your life experiences that were traumatic, or parts that felt traumatic. And the reason for this is Liver King talks about this in his podcast, where he was bullied and he was shy, and then eventually he got more dense, he got more muscular, and then this built up to a stage where he then started taking steroids to get even bigger. But underlying all of this was to hide that inner boy, that inner child of his who was insecure, he was shy. And he even talks about it in the podcast, where he doesn't even talk about it as much. And eventually it came out. It came out probably the worst way, where he was forced out. It was forced out. But what this shows is start working on yourself now. There's inner demons, there's insecurities. If you start working on it now, it doesn't matter if it's just reading a book to start with. create awareness around why you may have that inner belief. But as you start working on it, there's no rush as well. Don't feel like you need to rush it and you need to do it and then your life will be sorted. Take your time with it. Step in, step out your comfort zone, but step out gradually as you are comfortable. Don't force yourself out there if you're not ready for it. And essentially, the goal is to heal those parts of yourself. Because as you start to heal those parts of yourself, you will find that you have more confidence. It's no longer dragging you back. It's no longer holding you back. And it's almost like you're carrying a rucksack full of these demons, full of these past traumatic experiences. And slowly you can start taking that backpack off and throw it away. It's a massive relief on your shoulders. You no longer feel insecure. And all of a sudden, boom, you're just heading forward with more ease, with more strengths within yourself, more resilience, and more confidence within yourself. So number 2 is start working on those inner demons, those inner traumatic experiences, and start to identify how it may have been caused and start to heal them. And number 3 is vulnerability. I talk about this a lot, vulnerability. People often think vulnerability is soft. A lot of men think vulnerability is soft. Why should I be vulnerable? And I understand why. In certain places, when you're vulnerable, you'll get shut down, you get laughed at, and even the people that want you to be vulnerable after women will shut you down or won't take you seriously afterwards. I've been there, I understand. But equally, there are spaces out there where you can be vulnerable. The person in front of you won't judge you, and that in fact, it will allow you to build more confidence within yourself. It will allow you to be more authentic within yourself, and it will allow you to grow more. So, it could be a coach, it could be a therapist, it could be a men's group, a women's group, whatever it is. There are spaces out there that allow you to be vulnerable. Find those spaces. It could be a podcast even too. But if you can find those spaces where you can be vulnerable and you can allow those sides to be shown and seen and it's not ridiculed, all of a sudden there is a part of you that will change. It's like an internal shift that happens where you become more confident. You start to realize that actually, I don't need to hide anymore. I don't need to pretend to be someone else. It's not a linear journey. It's going to be up and down, up and down, up and down. But if you can find the right place, the right environment to be vulnerable, the right people to be vulnerable with, your life can change dramatically. It can be a massive U-turn and all of a sudden you feel more relief. You feel like I said, a weight is shifted off your shoulders and all of a sudden you can run forward, race forward and achieve your goals, achieve the things that you wanted. And it's much more easier than pretending to be someone you're not. So, authenticity, facing your inner demons, your inner past traumatic experiences, and 3, vulnerability. These are 3 key aspects that I think you can take away from Liver King's scandal and his whole career at the moment. If you haven't seen the other podcast or the episode where he's exposed, make sure you check them out below. Is Liver King a bad guy? I don't think he is. I understand why he got to the stage where he was, and I understand why he did what he did. But equally, he did benefit from it. He did rip off a lot of people because they thought they would end up looking like him from taking his supplements. So, it's a 50-50. Overall, he should be punished. And he might be punished in the fact that a lot of people might stop following him. A lot of people might stop taking him seriously. And although a lot of people might not think that's a hard punishment, you have to think about the fact that deep down, this is a guy that loved the validation. He loved people applauding him. He loved the attention. And all of a sudden, that's been stripped away. All of a sudden, he's been made to tell the truth. And this is something that doesn't come easy. And when it's forced upon you, it's a lot more harder. So a lot more harder. And when you have to face the truth, it's a lot more harder when you haven't prepared for it. And this is why I'm saying in this video, prepare yourselves and start learning to take away that mask, start being vulnerable in the right spaces, and start facing those inner demons, because as you start to do it now, it's going to help you grow, it's going to help you be more authentic, and it's going to help you live a more enriching life. And all these 3 tenets are also key in attracting the ideal partner. I talk about this a lot. I do help a lot of men find the ideal partner. And these 3 things are key components of my structure of helping men face their fears and step forward and find the right woman for themselves. It's not easy. It is a journey. And if you're interested in this, make sure you check out the links below, subscribe, comment, and drop me an email. And let's see if I can help you find your ideal partner by building more confidence within yourself, by helping you be more real and not fake, and helping you overcome your anxieties and fears. If that interests you, let me know. Otherwise, I'll check you in the next video. Thank you. My name's been Jagunath or Jag. Take care.